Hey everybody, welcome to Tone Chasers. I'm here with Kasim Sulton, and we're here at the Keswick Theater for the last stop of the first leg.
Kind of. Sort of. We have a few more shows in the area, but then we take a break around July 19th.
Okay, cool. Very cool. We're here at the Damned If I Do tour. And thanks so much for being with us, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I caught the show in D.C. Spectacular. I've seen you guys so many times, so to see that set list was just phenomenal. So we're really glad you could be here. So, yeah, I guess let's start with the bass you got strapped on here.
Yeah. So this is one of my better basses that I have. I usually use my my signature bass.
Right.
But I'm bored.
Yeah.
And so I was home last night and I'm looking at my through my basses and I'm like, man, let me try this one. And this happens to be a really, really good bass. I got it in 1992 or 3, 91, 92, 93.
Okay.
And it's one of the rare Stuart Spector basses that made natural finishes that were made in the U.S.
Yeah.
So this is a really, really nice bass.
Yeah. And it's kind of, it reminds me a lot of your K bass, the shape of it and the sound. So do you kind of, I'm assuming you gravitate toward that kind of small body.
Well, yeah. So I'm not a big guy. I'm a little I'm smaller and a big body bass. Like even a Fender Precision tends to look a little big on me.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not about how you feel. It's about how you look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
Sometimes anyway. Yeah.
So and then that bass is running into what amp?
So recently, about 4 or 5 years ago, I did a cruise.
Okay.
One of the Rock Legends cruises. One of the cruises. They have 20 bands. And, and there was a jam session on the boat, and I was involved in that, and they said, listen, we have a couple of bass amps here. Which one do you want? And I said, well, what do you have? And they said, we have an SVT. Okay. Which I've used since 1972. Yeah. I got my first SVT. And a Blackstar. Okay. And when I saw the 8x10 SVT, I was like, okay, well, I know what that sounds like. Yeah. I said, and then I saw this little Blackstar amp, a Unity 500. Okay. And I said, let me try that. Yeah. I fell in love with it immediately. Awesome. It's just it's a perfect little amp. Yeah. It is loud. There's a little. I have a little extension cabinet at home if I'm playing arenas or something like that. But for the most part, this little I think it's two 10s. Okay. In there. Wow. And it's got a lot of different settings on it. It's really a really versatile amp, and the Blackstar bass amp is. This is just that is a great little amplifier. Cool. I'm the only one on stage with an amp.
Oh, really? Everyone's doing modelers.
Everyone has their either their like the guitar player uses a Helix, keyboards. And Todd uses the Fractal system. Okay. But I just for the seat of the pants stuff, I usually have my in-ears. I use in-ears, but. There's only so much low end you can get out of in-ears, and so I like having this little amp behind me.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Just to feel the vibration, it's for the low end stuff. A lot of bass players are doing that. It's not, modelers don't work as well.
A couple of tours ago, somebody came up with a platform to stand on that was a subwoofer.
I saw that.
Yeah, a transducer in a platform, which was really cool. But you had to stand on it.
The whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Mike from Fish is using that right now. He's got no amp and he's just feeling the vibrations. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Cool, man. So that's that bass, and then I see we have two, or we did have two. Now we have one of your signature K basses. It looks like.
Yeah. These basses, they started making these in 2006. Okay. And we did 4 versions of it. So there's version 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And this is the last version that we came up with, and it's just this. When I was approached by Archer Guitars to come up with a signature bass. Yeah. And I said, okay, but I have to have complete control over what I'm playing. Right. Body size, pickup, bridge, wood, neck, this is what we came up with. This is this iteration. It didn't have a scoop on the back, on the top bout. Before this, we put that in. But this bass is, and the other thing that I specified was that I did not want a bass that if a kid went into a music store and saw a bass and said, "Dad, I want to be a musician," or "Mom, I want to be a musician," and can you buy me that bass? And it's a mortgage payment.
Right.
So this bass is a $600 bass.
Wow.
And this is the exact same bass that you would get when they were being sold
Stock.
in a store.
Wow.
Unfortunately, we don't sell them anymore. So, but I love this bass.
Yeah.
It's a great bass.
Sounds great too. And that's what you were rocking in DC most of the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So we got the K bass, and then the other one for your 5-string needs is just
again
an Ibanez stock. All good.
I'm sorry.
You're all good.
Again, I walked into a music store in Florida.
Yeah.
I forget what happened. I might have needed a 5-string at the time, and I'm just like went to a Guitar Center.
The story I've heard is that you had tennis elbow.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was just a super late 5-string that you could use for Utopia Tour. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I just fell in love with the Ibanez, the SR series, I believe it is. And so I have a brown one. This one was, I saw the black one and I was like, I got to have a black one because obviously I prefer black
basses.
guitars. Yeah. And this was their NAMM display model.
Cool.
So I got somebody to get it for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's rad, man.
Yeah.
Cool. So we got, basses and amps, and then here we have, a modest pedal board, but definitely packs a punch for what you're gonna need.
Yeah.
I guess we can start with the Eventide here.
So so this is a really, really versatile, it's an H9.
Right.
And for me as a bass player, it's got just the basic, like, I have a chorus, a short delay, an octaver, and then octave divider, and then just if we do a couple of like really weird songs, I'll program a silly sound in it, and that'll make a big difference.
Cool.
I love the H9 pedal. The Eventide stuff is great. They've been making great stuff since the early 70s. And then this Keeley pedal. So the thing that I've discovered is that the H9 doesn't like to be fed anything other than a direct signal.
Okay.
It does not like to be overloaded. So that's the first in my chain, and then I have this octave divider by Keeley. This is a great pedal.
Yeah, makes great stuff.
Yeah, he makes really great stuff. I really like this pedal. Let me see if I can. I'd have all the high end rolled off on my amplifier.
Okay.
Because the high end I have in my in-ears. So this, it's also, they have this has a...
Ooh, Octafuzz. Nice.
I don't use that because it's unnecessary.
So you're using the octaver, when you're playing stuff up and down the neck, or just some...
just in certain spots, because it tends to be to get a little lost sometimes. It depends on what venue we're playing in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like you have this real low end stuff, but it doesn't translate.
Right.
And then I just have a little bit of compression on it, not a whole lot.
Nice. Very subtle.
Yeah.
Also a Keeley compressor, just a Keeley bass compressor.
Yes, Keeley bass compressor. They make great stuff.
Yeah.
And the Morley pedal for just switching between basses.
Yeah.
and then my two little wireless units. I mean, I'm pretty stationary most of the night, but I want the option to be able to move around if I have to, or if I feel if the mood strikes.
Right.
You know, I'll go run somewhere. But that's it, really. It's talk about silly sounds.
Nice.
I use that in. We do a song called Hawking.
Yeah.
And at the very end, the last note that the band plays is I think it's a G.
Okay.
So I'll just hit this. Actually, what I'll do is I'll hit that.
Oh, nice, and swell it. That's great.
Would I even do that? Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, the H9 is full of great stuff like that. That harmony stuff.
I don't do that. I don't use that.
Don't use that one anymore.
But it's like it's. When you take the DI off of the amplifier, you'll be able to get a lot less low end from it.
Yeah.
The chorus works for me on a bunch of different levels. But the problem that I encounter is that because the guitar players, because Todd and Bruce use a lot of effects.
Yeah.
I try my best to stay away as much as possible.
Yeah, too much of it.
And on this bass, I don't know why, but this bass has flat wound strings on it.
Okay.
I use Elixir.
Right.
Exclusively.
Yeah.
I use Elixir strings. They're the best string around, especially for bass. I'll keep a set of Elixirs on for a year or more. Yeah. Without changing them. But I just put these flat wounds on this bass a while back, and I'm digging it.
Cool. Yeah, bass flat wounds are a whole different ball game, and it's a lot of fun. Cool, man.
And then I use a pick a lot.
Yes. Yeah, I saw you whenever I've seen you in the past, you alternate a lot, which is great. Nice.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on what song we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, if we're doing stuff that requires a lot of pedaling.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes it's always good, and I'm a palm guy.
Okay.
I use a lot of muting.
A little more attack.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's about it, really.
Cool, man.
That's my rig.
Anything else you want to tell Tone Chasers viewers?
No, just thank you very, very much. I really appreciate you coming down. The H9 Keeley pedals, you can't beat that. Just keep playing music.
That's right. Yeah. Love it. Great advice. And you can go check out the rest of Todd's dates over at his website. So thanks, Kasim.
You're
really appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Jack. Thank you very much for coming down. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was great. Hey, everybody. We're over here with Bruce McDaniel talking guitars for this Todd tour. Thanks for having us, man. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure, yeah.
All right. So I guess we'll just start with this Strat that you got going on.
Yeah, so this is actually, I've gotten to the point where I don't take precious guitars out, because they do get bounced around a lot.
Totally.
So I've tried to find a couple, over the last couple of tours that kind of do all the different jobs required. And this is actually an Ed O'Brien Strat. Okay. So it's got the sustainer in the neck position, and a Seymour Duncan humbucker in the bridge position. And the sustainer I use for probably like 2 or 3 songs where I use it heavily. Yeah. and there are a number of songs where I just turn it off entirely, but I generally stay on the bridge, mostly because with 2 keyboards and a guitar, all kind of sitting in roughly the same ranges, I generally favor a bright sound that sits on top of them.
Right.
And also with Todd playing, Todd tends to have a more mid-rangey sound. So this keeps me kind of out of the way, and I can do glassy kind of things on top. And then for some of the older tunes, I use this Strat, which is a early 90s Strat Plus.
Okay.
And this is totally stock with the exception of I lost one of the tuners.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a replaced tuner, and I lost one of the knobs.
And a knob.
And that knob goes to 11. You can check it.
All right. Well, every episode needs a Spinal Tap right now, so thank you.
And this is only modified in the sense that I put locking tuners on, and it's got a Vega trem instead of the standard trem. Because I do a lot of, like, I wouldn't say dive bombs, but a lot of stylized, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So the standard Strat trem is stressed out when you do that.
Yeah. Totally.
And so this is most of the show.
Okay.
And on the floor is very, very simple. I've got a simple rig. It's complicated setup within it.
Yeah.
But it's a very simple rig. It's the Helix Stadium. And the only additional pedal I have is the Boss SY200 synth pedal, which I use for 2 songs.
Okay.
And really the kind of trick for this gig is that because Todd's body of work encompasses from, the tunes we're playing go from 1969 to right now.
Right.
And so the sounds that I have to come up with for each era's worth of tunes are going to be wildly different.
Right.
And I've done it with a traditional pedal board, but there's a lot of tap dancing involved, and so this simplifies life a lot. But there are also a number of tunes that originally on the record might have had 3 or 4 keyboards on it. Gil Asias, who plays the main keyboards, he's like got 8 hands, so he does manage to cover a lot of ground. And Bobby's busy playing sax when he's not playing keyboards, so there are a couple of tunes that I actually add the synth pedal in to cover a keyboard line that isn't coverable by the number of hands that we have on that side of the stage. And that's it, and it's just a switcher between the 2 guitars, and it's a very, very simple setup. And it gets me through the show just fine. I try not to over program stuff because, again, I don't love tap dancing.
Yeah.
But I do a few like tricky things. I do use a lot of momentary switching. On the Helix. So for example, like if we're playing, let me go to I Saw the Light, right? Most of the time for the rhythm parts, I'm just playing like that. But then I have to do and that's got to sit on top. And it's just a brief moment. I don't have time to turn something on and turn something off. So I have momentary switches to do a boost and a little extra gain to do. And then I let it go.
Nice.
Back,
Cool.
And that happens a lot during the show.
Yeah.
These brief things. And Todd in the early years used the Univibe a lot.
Yep.
So there's a lot of Univibe-y things that are programmed in there.
That's awesome.
And the Univibe sound in the Helix is actually pretty darn good. So for like number 1 lowest common denominator. That kind of stuff sounds great. And if I had to have all the pedals that I needed to do this whole gamut of sounds, it'd be a pedal board that was like 2 tiers, And
yeah, and that's the best part about this is that his discography is just so massive.
Yeah.
And he's picking stuff from all over the board. I mean, he's
exactly.
I looked at this tour and he's doing a lot of stuff off Liars, and then he's doing a Nas song. So
right. So Liars is 2004.
Yeah.
And we're doing Nas stuff from '69.
Yeah.
And we're also doing stuff from his last record just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And obviously they're just by nature going to be different sounding.
Yeah.
The other aspect of it is I do, and you know this if you've listened to Todd's records, they're so deep with layers of backing vocals that I'm very much tied to the microphone and do a lot of singing throughout the show.
Yeah.
So singing and tap dancing on multiple pedals is fraught with peril. You are going to make some tragic mistakes.
Yeah, totally.
And that's one of the reasons I have like this setup where, again, with the stepping on it for like just a boost for a line, while I'm singing, I've just got my foot lingering on this one thing, and I go from to and then off, and I don't have to worry about looking down. I know where it is at all times. It's always the bottom left one, and I find that's a really important thing for me, is to always lay each preset out the same way. The boost is always here. The solo is always here. Things like that. Because, A, I don't want to have to remember, but B, if you're spending time like this, looking down, it's hard to look cool.
Yeah.
When you're looking at it.
Yeah. And you want to, again, like you're doing a lot of backing vocals in the show. It's very
nonstop.
hard to,
It's nonstop.
Right.
So again, I try not to have too much stuff, but there are what I would consider iconic things that Todd plays that I want to do, because I know if I were the fan listening, that little lick that he does is part of the song. It's not just a throwaway thing in the song. It's become part of the vocabulary of the song. So having everything kind of laid out gives me that freedom. There's an incredible, my favorite lick probably that Todd ever played is in the song Black and White. And so you're coming out like, let's see, I'm trying to remember exactly how it goes. He goes, yes, in the beginning of the verse. And man, if that didn't happen, I would be so bummed out in the song, because it's such a hip lick. Because he's playing, so it's over an E chord. He's playing F sharp, D, and G. So he's got the 9 and the 7 and the minor third in there, and it's just such a dope lick. And I all of those things, you want to be able to cover all of that stuff, and he gives us freedom to do pretty much anything we want, but I know as somebody who loves his music and is a fan, how important little tidbits like that are. And the Helix lets you kind of create moments for it in, on just a button. There's a moment in Common Denominator where on the record, he's got just like this wild reverse whatever thing, and so when we hit that moment, I go, and if I had to do that on and off with 3 pedals, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about. And another thing is that snapshots are extremely important.
Yeah, well, see, each one of those is a snapshot, right? Like this, the boost thing is just, if you watch this, see that number going from number 1, it goes to 3 and back.
Yeah.
So all of these are set up as snapshots. There's some voodoo you have to do to get it to be intermittent, like or momentary like that. But once you figure that out, it like opens up a whole world of these transient snapshots that come in and out, and it doesn't pop or click or do anything. I have inadvertently stepped on the wrong button now and then and changed presets to the next one, but for the most part, it's pretty solid as far as my aim.
Yeah, that's great. And then, so for the Boss synth unit, you're using that for Kindness, and then
Kindness and for stood up.
Okay.
And so you can see the patch over there changed to stood up because it's MIDI. The Helix is MIDI controlling it, sending it to that.
Awesome.
Stood up is actually finger picked. So there's a synth sound on there that, for lack of a better term, I think of as kind of like a steel drum sound.
Okay.
And so that sits on top of the guitar. I have the guitar signal in there too.
Okay.
I'm not sure why I decided to do that, because there really isn't any guitar on the record. I just felt like I was lonely without the guitar sound. So you get, it's hard to hear it really just in the side fills, but you'll hear a high overtone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it does have that steel drum.
Right, it's got that little
frequency,
steel drum thing. So there's an ostinato that goes through the song, which is, you know. And so that little bell-like sound on top of it actually helps it cut through everything else. And Kindness is, the chorus of Kindness goes from a very stripped down sound to like a big orchestral sound. So each of us adds in some layer of something in there. So I go from just playing basically, you know, a standard guitar sound to, in the chorus, having this in. Right.
Yeah.
So you get all that stuff, and that's all just from the synth.
You know, that's fascinating. I was at the DC show, so Kasim, and you know, I'm so used to that live recording on Spotify.
Sure. Yeah.
And I always thought it was the keyboards doing it.
Yeah,
and they probably are doing some element of it.
So Gil will add strings into the normal piano sound that he has in there, and Bobby's playing a horn line on the wind controller.
Okay.
So he's got like I think he's got a trumpet sound or something on top of it, and I've got like low brass, and then Gil has the strings. And again, this comes back to the fact that these records are so dense, and there's only 5 of us back here, and so everybody is kind of having to throw a little more, you know, coal on the fire and get that big sound.
Well, you definitely get it done, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. The other thing I use on Kindness, which I like a lot, is, and I don't really know what it is on the record, I never asked, but I use like a shimmer reverb for a line in the second verse, which is this, you know. And I see people all the time go, where's that coming from? Because obviously it doesn't sound like it's coming from the guitar.
Right.
And they're doing other things. And they're like, who's
is
doing that?
Yeah. That's awesome. That's the beauty of this synth stuff.
So Kindness, we had our work cut out for us to try and get that whole thing together.
Yeah, that's you know, an unorthodox Todd song. And
That
it has all this.
Well, you know, it's a Broadway show basically that it came from. So, you know, and then we have just straight rock stuff, which is obviously easy. You know, I am not like one of these guitar players that's just offended by the lack of an amplifier, you know, and there's some people that can't get along with that. But I've always felt like the front of house sound from your guitar is never what you feel like it is when you're standing in front of the amplifier anyway.
Right.
It just gives you the thing of having a loud amplifier behind you that feels good as a guitar player.
Right.
But you could spend all day dialing in the sound you want. When it gets to front of house, it's not going to sound that way anyway.
Right.
This way, I know that the sound in my in-ears is what's going to front of house.
100%.
And that alone just takes a lot of stress out of things, because I know if I make a little tweak here, everybody's getting that tweak exactly like I made it. It doesn't get lost in the sauce. And my in-ears are very tight, so I wouldn't even hear it if I had an amplifier behind me, which is why I don't even have like an FRFR or something behind me. Todd doesn't use ears. He only uses the side fills.
Interesting.
So he gets his guitar, my guitar, the keyboards, backing vocals, everything through the side fills.
Wow.
Only Kasim has an amp on stage. So, and because Todd likes to feel the air moving from the bass amp. But everything else is in the side fills. So
cool. I got one more question for you. amp-wise,
Yeah.
Are you switching models, or are you sticking to one?
Yeah, so it basically depends on when I built that preset. Like how many tours ago did I build that preset? Most of what I'm using is the Grammatico GSG model.
Okay.
There are a couple of tunes that use something different. Like I think probably for the Soul Medley,
okay,
I use like either a deluxe or a twin, because it is that sound,
right.
you know. But I think most of them are the Grammatico model, which is basically a Dumble.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't think I do much to the actual amp itself. I'm trying to think, probably not. But I always run a compressor in front and a compressor at the end.
Okay.
And other than that, you know, there's some tricky things that I do as far as how everything's routed, but I don't, I don't get into any really crazy stuff. I'm not really using an expression pedal or anything. Hasn't been necessary for this. I have in the past used it for certain songs, but there's nothing in the electric part of the set. In the acoustic part of the set, obviously I don't even have pedals. It's just an acoustic guitar. Yeah. So.
Cool, man. Well, thanks so much for
my pleasure.
Having us talk to you. We really appreciate it. Anything else you want to tell Tone Chasers viewers, or just?
Oh no. Other than, like I said, don't get yourself anxious about if you're a long-time amp user.
Yeah.
And you're thinking about dipping your toe into modelers. It's like anything else. There's a little learning curve, but don't feel like you're going to be losing something, because in the long run you gain something, which is the knowledge that the sound out in the audience actually sounds like you dialed it in.
Love it.
Which is great.
Cool. Thanks, Bruce. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Cool. Thanks, man. Sorry.